Hello friends, Jack here. Jump Tomorrow Substack. I saw an interview, kind of a panel discussion with Leonard Cohen way back in the day. And the commentator asked him incredulously whether he was not bothered because he had said something about not being bothered. And he kind of accused him, how can you write poetry if you're not bothered? And he said very clearly, he said he's bothered when he wakes up in the morning to find out whether he's in a state of grace. And if he finds out that he is not in a state of grace, he'll go back to bed. And so the commentator asked what that meant, state of grace. And he described it as being in balance. To be able to handle the chaos of the world, he needed to check whether he was in balance in order to handle it. And that's what he called a state of grace. Yeah. What do I do? I have so many friends this week alone who have come out to me that they have, I'll just say cancer. In general, cancer is a good word for the problem they have with their body. The only way I can stand there and listen without feeling like a fraud, if you have a stage 4 cancer, then you can listen to someone else who says they have stage 4 cancer, and you can actually sympathize because you have the credibility to do that. But if you don't, and you do not have the credibility, how do you stand there? How can you provide comfort when you have no connection to the issue? If someone grew up in poverty and you did not, and their complaint is about the poverty they had, what can you say? The feeling of being a fraud with a friend who has a problem is an inner feeling. As an answer for myself, I saw this amazing person who was a fighter for democracy, anti-fascist fighter. And they were answering the question for themselves on air. How do they keep going? How do they keep fighting? When, if you're in the midst of it, you see how horrible it really is. You see how far down the hole we are and how it's not much of a jump that we are at the worst. It's not far from the worst, whatever that is in your mind. And their answer to that question is that they, instead of picturing some vague future, they picture a concrete future. They picture their door getting broken down and they're getting hauled to prison. And not just stopping there, but what next? Okay, being in the prison. Okay, what next? They go through the doorway of the imagination of the future that they're afraid of, and they find themselves in some prison without any contact with anyone for an indefinite period. And they say to themselves, what are you going to do in the prison? They go that far. Aren't you going to still be yourself? And what can you come up with all that time on your hands? What can you invent? What can you think? What can you study? What problem can you solve? And that simple imagination opens a possibility for, he didn't really mean it seriously, but it's possible that you can even look forward to that future that the moment before you were afraid of. And I do that same thing with health issues. I place cancer in myself. I do it quite often. And then I go through it. You can't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I'm saying, isn't that a possibility that we can face what other people experience? These are all things that others have dealt with millions and millions of times, and they are at this moment facing fascism, facing stage 4 cancer. If someone else is experiencing it, then why not me? I want to be human. I want to experience everything human. I can earnestly experience anything. And in my true being, I can find the balance, the state of grace. But don't believe me. I'm the only one that has to believe me. I love you.